Guys, more Republican congressmen are in support of Trump striking Nigeria to take away these terror guys. This is really good news, and that means America is going to be taking action any moment from now. Anyway, guys, before we get into that video with Ojope, I want you to take a look at this headline that has been causing a whole lot of buzzwords. Nigerians are wondering why Tinubu is having closed-door meeting with, Christian leaders and even the Sultan. Like you can see here, Tinubu holds closed-door meeting with Archbishop of Abuja. And again, Tinubu still held another closed-door meeting with the Sultan of Sokoto. Nigerians are saying instead of him to take action, he's busy, speaking with these people, which is not what is needed at this moment. Also, many Nigerians have accused the Sultan of Sokoto that the Northerners have been so silent all this while that buying in Benue State has been happening, that there is real jihad going on in Nigeria. Don't forget that the Sultan of Sokoto is the leader of Miyetti Allah, so he hardly comes out to condemn what is happening in the Middle Belt. And now that Trump wants to strike the hideouts of these bad guys, guess what? Many Northerners have come out to say that Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is a sovereign nation, that America shouldn't come, while they've been silent all this while that buying has been going on. Now, I challenge you guys, for those who are saying Muslims too are being buyed, Christians are being buyed, is there any part in the north where these bad guys use machetes to butcher people the way they do in a Plateau or in Benue State? Is there any part in the north? So guys, this is purely genocide. This is purely jihad going on. Anyway, guys, I'm going to allow you to take a look at what this journalist has got to say. This journalist has revealed a lot of things that is happening in the north. Then you are going to be listening to Ojope as she takes us on another congressman that has come out to, join Trump in this fight to end terrorism in Nigeria. Take your time, watch this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Now take a look.
The social media has democratized access to information, that people are using the same media to deny reality. And the people are exaggerating what the president of the United States has promised to do. He only promised to help us deal with terrorists who have been dealing with Christians in this place. He didn't say in any tweet anywhere that he was coming to invade Nigeria for anything. I don't think so. But the people are now using the media to say, oh, he's interested in our oil. It's an economic issue. Why did he want to do it? They did this one in Libya. They did this in Iraq. They did this in, why is he interested? And he has failed. And they are using the same media to get even some people who have become crisis merchants in Nigeria to be using misinformation and disinformation. And they are making us to believe that we do not like the president, that they are targeting the president. No, this problem began long before even 2009 when Boko Haram manifested itself. True. It began before that, but since that way it has become an international dimension. So many things have happened that people are now denying. And people denying that, there was no Christian, there has been no genocide on Christians. If we want to begin primarily, my brother, where is Leah Sharibu since 2018? For 113 captives. Like that. She was singled out because she denied her faith.
Yeah, they refused to release.
She refused to, they wanted her to deny her faith. They refused to release her till date. You attended so many media security meetings, even under Buhari, where I asked this question more than 5 times. Where is there? They have been promising. They left her because she's a Christian. We heard that she's given back. Her father is still in the police force.
Wow.
It was this same Reno Omokri who found out when there was a Reno Omokri. He was the one who found out about the identity of her father, that is actually from Adamawa State, a Christian from Adamawa State, serving in Yobe State. And the mother was there, the President Buhari promised, the mother promised everybody that she will be released. It's still not released. Nobody knows her whereabouts. What happened to Deborah in Sokoto College of Education, who thanked God online for enabling her to finish her exam as any Christian would have done? They stoned her to death in this same country. And even lawyers were trooped out to say we will break out from NBA if we will not allow us to defend the people who stoned her to death. No one is in detention. Nobody has been prosecuted. What happened? So many things have happened like that. Why are there so many people who want to deny that we do not have IDP camps? There are so many of them in this Abuja. So many of them in the places, 2 states that they have targeted, Benue and Plateau, Christian dominated. You know the place of Jos as the capital of Plateau State, even in Christendom here. You know that Benue State too is Christian dominated. Why do terrorists target Christians in that place? Why do they allow, what happened to all those people in IDP camps who occupied their natural habitat, the place God the Almighty gave them to live? Why can't they return? Who are the people occupying those places? So this thing is so complex, but as a journalist, We are not allowed to do contextual reporting of all these things, to bring out facts of those people, the villages they have destroyed, people they have killed. There are videos of pregnant women they have killed.
They shattered the pregnancy.
And all those things. They say nothing happened here. So these are issues. I think it's not about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He inherited all this problem. He began in earnest in 2009 when Boko Haram story became international.
Yeah.
But since that time, a lot of things have happened. Then our armed forces, we know their capacity.
True.
But to look at the budget of this 6.5 trillion, even in this year's budget, suddenly the defense budget takes the lion's share of our budget at a time.
Over 12%.
Yes, over 12%. That we need this one for critical infrastructure. Then somebody somewhere, president of the United States of Republican Party, and you know their principles. They are conservative people.
Right.
They were the people who influenced even the writing of their constitution, and the constitution they put in God we trust.
Yeah.
So they don't deny it. That is what they defend wherever Christians are traumatized, are molested, anywhere in the world. And he has said this one, no, this one we have had. You know, you recall that even in 2018,
Right.
or thereabouts, even it was President Buhari himself who revealed in a private meeting he had with President this in his first term.
That was the first time, yes.
First time that we had that they are slaughtering Christians in your country. He said, no, sir, it was President Buhari himself who revealed it. It didn't start yesterday. Why are they denying this thing and saying that we should not take out terrorists in this way, that we should negotiate with them? Where in the world will you bring terrorists that you say you are looking for to be negotiating with them, to hold meeting, and they're gone? Who approved the guns they carried to meeting in Kasina for them? This is our country. It's not about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has tried all that he can do to end this thing. We have seen revelation where people were talking about how the then president, Goodluck Jonathan, brought in machinery and he was trying to finish the job.
Yeah.
And they stopped him because they didn't want crisis merchants in this country, and people who do not love this country are denying reality.
Okay, so Mr. Oloja, we also have inside information, although we won't mention names, that there are people in the Nigerian military who want to finish the terrorists, and that they were restrained by political appointees in this government. It's been reported, for instance, that there was a time they almost got Bello Turji within their range, but they were altered, and several other instances like that. What that tells me is that it's either there is no courage or sufficient courage inside government, or there is collusion. How can the president solve that situation? Because we can't have two sets of standards.
So we are saying in the media, we are saying through this medium that Mr. President should summon up courage, to have the political will to discern this fact that there are some people who do not want these crises to end. I call them, what others have called them, crisis merchants. I do not believe that we do not have capacity in the military to crush this. We have had this thing you are saying, that a particular security chief insisted that these people must be crushed, and that there is another superior person who is trying to protect a territory and a race.
Yeah.
Because the president will not like this thing to end, and then the Mr. President, who is a politician who also will face re-election, he is trying to buy into it, and they have removed a particular security chief that we have had. This is Nigeria. This is about our country.
Yeah.
Because that person is insisting that these people must be crushed. And now another person is saying, no, let us negotiate with them. They listen to Sheikh Gumi, who is saying that we should be negotiating with them, who is always sitting down with them.
This is the same Sheikh Gumi who went to Saudi Arabia. And they said that the man is a security threat. And then they didn't allow him to come and do his pilgrimage. They sent him back home.
They sent him back home. And it is only in Nigeria that kind of person will be given media space to be repeating the fact that these terrorists are not bad people, that we need to negotiate with them. And then they will invite them into a meeting with their guns. And then the security people will be guarding them. And they will enter their buses and they will drive away like that. And the following day, they will gather before Mr. President to say, this is what we are doing. Mr. President will tell them to crush them, do away with them. But they have been holding meetings with them. Because of the advice of a particular security chief. It's about our country. It's not about anybody. What we are saying is that they should not give us the narrative that this thing does not exist. Let us straighten the matter.
Right.
We do not want President Trump to come and invade this place.
Correct.
What we are saying is that Mr. President should do the right thing by getting security people to crush these people. People who are protecting them are enemies of the state, are they are enemies of Nigeria.
Right.
People who are advising that Mr. President should be negotiating with these terrorists. Trump is saying that, look, enough is enough of crushing Christians like that with impunity. In a particular December, they burned St. Teresa Church in Abuja here, at the border here. They have burned so many churches in a war. They went there. Are there Christians that went to a war to invade the church and killed so many people? And so many churches like that where they have destroyed even all these assets, even and human beings in Benue, in Plateau, in so many other places in Nigeria like that. Who? It is not about saying, oh, they have killed Christians, they have killed Muslims. That is, it is collateral damage, where you heard that they have killed the Muslims. It is those Muslims who didn't believe in the fundamental objective of terrorists. They killed them. Okay. And we are now saying that, oh, no. Yeah, we are saying, look, we know that we have a responsibility to defend our country. We have a responsibility to stand by the government of our country. But enough should be enough. If we have an authority that is higher, that is saying we are coming to help you, let me ask a question. Who is afraid of this help from Donald Trump?
Yeah. What I wanted us to consider before we conclude on that is that, so I also believe, Mr. Martin, that, look, we can't deny the genocide. But I want us to, our leadership, to manage it in a way that it doesn't divide us.
So,
because yes, so I've had a lot of friends, my northern friends said, oh, look, I mean, yeah, that's what, who is speaking for the Muslim victims? And I said, yeah, of course. There are even instances where you could say that there are more terrorist victims in northern parts of the country because they have more population there.
Yes.
So I think it is important, and then I'll make a comment and then you respond. I think it's important that our leadership, particularly the president, can speak up and say, look, whether they are Christians or they are Muslims, we want to end this. What is the importance of that ability for all of us to come together, Mr. Onoja?
You see, the first thing is even a consideration of the fact that welfare and security of the people, the president should know, and it's there in the constitution, should be the primary purpose of government. And if the people are not secure, whether they are Christians or Muslim, it's a burden and it's a responsibility. And the president must fulfill that responsibility to ensure that everybody, it's not about Christian, it's not about Muslim, everybody is secure in this country. Let me tell you about the implication of division if it is not properly managed. If the way they are putting the narrative in Western press, they say Christian South, Muslim not. It's not correct.
It's not accurate.
It's not accurate. There are so many Christians in the north, Muslims in the south. So if we now cut it off, and we now these Christians that they say that President Trump is trying to protect, if you cut them into the north, they will be more vulnerable. If we cut them off from their southern counterparts, they will be more vulnerable to violence. These people will finish them. It's in our interest to be together. We should not encourage anything that will divide us. And so our brothers and sisters, whose God is their belly, and they are encouraging propaganda to deny, in order to deny the truth, they should note that there are problems. There are problems. Let me tell you, even immediately, the problem that Mr. President should note, even in the north, that are not in the media at all. There is a local government in Bauchi State that is Christian dominated. They call it Tafawa Balewa local government.
Okay.
You know that under Issa Yuguda as governor, he should hear this.
Okay.
They unilaterally relocated the headquarters of local government listed in the constitution to Bununu. From Tafawa Balewa to Bununu. And the only Christian member of the House of Assembly, and that the only Christian member, a female Christian member of the House of Assembly, was suspended for criticizing that illegal relocation by the State Assembly. She was suspended, and that was barely a year after the inauguration of the session of their State Assembly. They suspended her till the end of that session for 3 years.
Wow.
Do you know that what you will not read in the media was that they took the case to court, the State High Court sided with the state government against the Constitution. The State High Court.
Wow.
It was only on 30th September 2025. We will not read it in the media. 30th September 2025, barely 2.5 months ago, that the Court of Appeal in Jos quashed that decision of the High Court and the Assembly, and they cited an example in Ekiti State that no individual, no institution has the right to relocate the headquarters of a local government as it is listed in the Constitution.
But why did Governor Yuguda, why did he do that?
He did that one because that is what they do to Christian-dominated areas.
So they removed the local government headquarters from a Christian-dominated place.
To a Muslim-dominated area. So you also have state terror to fight. Our leaders who are making noise in Abuja, they do a lot of things that are not reported in the media about the North. Have we seen it in the North? That it's quite impossible. Last year, I met a girl from Gwoza local government in Borno State, who obtained 277 in a UTME, and was trying to obtain certificate of citizenship from liaison office of Borno State in Abuja here, and could not. They told her to go to, because she is originally from Gwoza, is from an IDP camp. She only managed to get that mark. Was not admitted at the University of Abuja here, I am telling you. Wow. But while trying to secure admission to read law at the University of Abuja, she went to Borno State liaison office in Abuja here to obtain...
She's an indigene of Borno State.
They told her to go back to Goza to obtain the certificate. But they were giving the same certificate to Muslims from Borno State in the same office before her very eyes.
Wow.
A police officer got there and said, this is how I have to use another Muslim person to obtain a certificate for me in this office, a serving police officer, female serving police officer that I met. So there are so many issues. Most of the children of Christians from this northern state, you see, this is a very complex issue.
It is.
Very complex issue. Most of these children of Christians from so many northern states cannot get admission to read medicine, law, or these computer science engineering courses, even if their parents, I have so many of them as friends, even if their parents are professors in certain universities, they changed one from medicine to Christian religious knowledge. Arbitrarily, these things are not in the media. We deny this reality in the media about what Christians in the North have been suffering.
Okay.
We're continuing our coverage on the recent threat by U.S. President Donald Trump to impose sanctions or take military actions in Nigeria over allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. Well, according to the New York Times on Thursday, the United States military has drawn up contingency options for potential and ground strike to intervene in Nigeria. The plan reportedly includes 3 levels of military options: light, medium, and heavy, all designed to be escalatory. The light option involves partner-enabled operations where the U.S. would assist Nigerian forces in targeting Boko Haram and other militants. The medium option involves drone strikes on militant camps, bases, and convoys, and a heavy option would deploy an aircraft carrier group into the Gulf of Guinea with fighter jets and possibly long-range bombers conducting strikes deep within northern Nigeria. I mean, this revelation that, the Pentagon has actually drawn up strike plans escalates the crisis from rhetoric to potential reality. Well, in the meantime, United States Senator Tommy Tuberville has voiced his support for President Trump's threat of military action in Nigeria. Appearing on Fox News, the Alabama Republican senator backed Trump's position on alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, endorsing potential intervention to protect Christians.
Would you support U.S. troops going into Nigeria?
You bet I would. 62,000 Christians killed in Nigeria, 100,000 killed in Africa, 18,000 churches burned. Now, there's a lot of evidence there, and that's probably an underestimate, John, but we cannot allow this to happen to people that can't defend themselves. It's just absolutely insane. If we need to get involved in something like this, President Trump could end that in a heartbeat. This wouldn't be like going into Russia or China or North Korea or Iran. This would be going and helping innocent people that would be able to take back over their country. It's a shame something like this happened, but we can't overlook it. We can't underestimate it.
Well, the senator's remarks represents the first major congressional backing for Trump's threat to invade Nigeria, signaling that the president may have support among Republican lawmakers for military intervention. This adds a concerning legislative dimension to Trump's threats, suggesting this may not merely be presidential rhetoric, like I said, but could gain congressional support. In the meantime, in another development, U.S. Democratic Congressman Jonathan Jackson from Illinois released a statement in stark opposition to President Trump's potential military invasion, calling it a dangerous overreach and reckless, and that the answer is not American boots on the ground. In the statement, Jackson says in part, "Let's be clear. The sudden interest in Nigeria's internal conflict is not about human rights or saving lives. This is the same administration that slashed humanitarian aid across Africa, now claims it wants to save lives through military action. Where was the urgency in Sudan, the DRC, or the Central African Republic, where hundreds of thousands have died and millions forced to be displaced?" Well, in that same statement, the congressman also added that, the path to peace in Nigeria must come through dialogue, dignity, and not domination, putting him, in stark contrast with, the Republican voices we have heard so far, which largely supports President Trump's potential plans. But we also have the conversation about the Sharia law and the blasphemy law, which is, almost embedded in the Constitution, in the Nigerian Constitution. I'd like for you to buttress that part of that
Section 38 of the Constitution guarantees religious freedom for all Nigerians. And it says that no state, part of it is that no state must have a dominant religious. Nigeria is a secular state in essence. It means that if I'm a Muslim and I live in the north, south, east, south, I should be able to practice my religion without fear or discrimination. If I'm a Christian, as a Christian, I am able to go to any part of the country and practice my religion without fear, discrimination, or enticement or forcing for me to move away to another religion. Now, these are some of the issues that have now come off. And I've talked about it is high time we start to have these uncomfortable conversations,
Yes.
OG. And I believe that this incident, sad incident, gives rise to us to correct some things that have not been right. If you speak to a number of people living, particularly in the North, and I say this with all sense of responsibility, a number of Christians have talked about how some of these terrorist organizations who are termed as Islamic terrorist organizations, the Boko Haram, which is most prominent, actually target people who are not of the faith. So whether it be Christians or moderate Muslims. And that's why you can understand why many of them have talked about their churches being burnt, Christians dying, priests being kidnapped, a number of people targeting. If you recall during the last administration of El Rufai in Kaduna State, we know how polarized it was. Christians seem to not be protected at all. Thanks to the governor now, Obasani, who is doing a lot of work in trying to reconcile fragmented relationships. So beyond this targeting of Christians, it's also the freedom to practice. OJ, in some parts of these areas, they say that when churches, the land is owned by the government, the state government, after 100 years, you can apply for it to be renewed. That there's some churches who go to apply, and there are some policies that silently target religious freedom in these areas. We haven't spoken up for these people. Many times we talk about people who on certain days or certain religious festivals, we heard Professor Waro talk about that. We have killings in these areas. What does that mean? It means that people are afraid to actually fully express themselves. When you have a state where Sharia law is in operation, how can a Christian freely practice their religion in that area? These are the things that we need to start talking about so that we don't have this narrative of religious intolerance. Beyond that, we brought up the issue of Deborah Solomon in Sokoto State, Samuel, where people were afraid to speak out or speak up. Yes, because of yes, she said something that the other faith said, it wasn't of their faith. She has freedom of expression. I think what was a bigger travesty was the fact that despite what happened, nobody was apprehended. Till today, even though their faces are in public glare, they were not afraid. They did it brazenly. So there are some parts of the country where your religious freedom is up to a certain limit. Yes. It is curtailed. We have to be honest about this. And I believe that one of the things that this situation will bring to light is the fact that in some sectors of Nigeria, some people do not actually have that constitutionally guaranteed right to religious freedom. We need to talk about that. We need to be honest about that. And by being honest about that is the foundation to solving the problem.
And that is a big point. Thank you, Ayo, for highlighting that part of the speech. We're talking about religious persecution here. Christians being killed. That is really the main topic. But Tinubu is saying that we will defeat terrorism, whether internally or with collaboration. And also the fact that the minister's message of calm reflects the Nigerian government's strategy of projecting stability despite sobering realities, while the administration emphasizes being, not in a panic mode and reaffirms constitutional guarantees of religious freedom. Nigeria ranks number 6 on the Global Terrorism Index, just above Somalia and Israel. This is a stark contradiction that undermines reassurances of effective security management. And we're looking at this graph. I mean, this disconnect between, official messaging and international assessment exposes the challenges facing the Tinubu administration at the moment. If you can pull up that graph so we can actually see, where we rank in the Global Terrorism Index at this moment. Rufai, I'd like for your thoughts also with the fact that the US is, preparing to put boots on ground. Also, the president's reassurance, and he's, this is the first time we're hearing him speak at the moment.
With that data you released, it shows that the government narrative is not working. Nigeria ranks 6 on terrorism index. The question is, what was our ranking close to 20 years ago before all of this terrorism started? So it shows that in the last over 15 years, government has not done a lot to nip things in the bud. See, Ralph Waldo Emerson said something, that what you do speaks so loud I can't hear what you say. What Nigeria has done as a nation as regards religion, it speaks so loud that we can't hear what it says. According to the Constitution, there is no state religion. But a government that has subsidized religious travels, under what basis and what guise has it done that? Is that not an affirmation of the idea of state religion? A government that increasingly have not been able to nip perpetrators of heinous crimes against people with religious affiliation in the bud. A government where a government official said he had nothing wrong with blasphemy. And I'll tell you this, I have seen ex-government officials laugh at me because I have a Muslim background and I converted to Christianity. Yes.
What's the laugh about? I don't understand what that means. Why?
That I am deluded.
Okay.
My mother is Christian. I went through the religious understanding process as a child, but I'm Christian.
All right.
But I respect my Muslim background. In fact, I do a lot for a family mosque that's built in our village. But I've seen government officials laugh at me, an ex-government official, laugh at me when I put out that tweet saying I don't know what I was doing. Right. So you can see that what we do is different. And there have been persecution along the lines of religion.
Yes.
Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because every religion should be able to respect one another in Nigeria. Yep. And that's one thing we are not doing enough. But the most important point I want to make, the complicity in the security architecture is a big problem.
All right.
The fact that people are complicit, I think because see, it even makes it difficult for the fighting soldiers to trust each other. And that's why we've constantly condemned narratives of people that defend bandits and terrorists. So these are the problems we should look at. We want solutions.
This is it.
But we need to live in a fair society.
Yes.
Are you the floor?
I mean, also the contrast between the Democrats and the Republicans. I mean, did you hear the Democrats? I mean, at this point, how many days is the government shut down in America at this point? It had to do with
some of the longest.
30-something days. And the Democrats are saying this is not about, Trump coming to free Nigeria and, there's all the conflicts that have been in the past without, the Republicans or the Trump administration even solving. Meanwhile, a content creator has asked Nigerians living in the diaspora what they think about Trump's threat to invade Nigeria over alleged Christian genocide, and the responses reveal a deeply divided diaspora community in a viral video making the rounds on social media. Several Nigerian Americans shared contrasting views on Trump's position, with some supporting potential intervention, while others condemned it as unwarranted interference.
Some people are saying that the intervention of the international body, that's America right now, will bring about stability. Some other people are saying they should leave us, we're going to handle things ourselves. What do you say?
We don't need Trump to handle insecurity in Nigeria.
We can do it ourselves.
110%.
So, but we need this shake, and it was necessary.
We need a wake-up call. Maybe that's what Trump is doing, which makes sense, but he doesn't necessarily have to physically engage.
Where have you ever seen all over the world that America went into and got a place? Go and check Iraq, check Libya, check everywhere. Everywhere they went, they destroyed the place. Let's not go to Nigeria. We don't want it.
But Nigeria is a sovereign state.
He's a racist. He doesn't like Nigeria at all.
Do you think Donald Trump has Nigerians' best interest at heart, or do you think he has a selfish reasons?
America always have interests wherever they go. It's just like what happened in Afghanistan. Once they've vetted their interests, they will come with confusion like this now to get what they want to get from there. Then the people there will still benefit from that. That's why I say it's both.
Now, I want you to stand on a particular point.
I give it to Donald Trump.
You want him to come in?
Yes.
That country needs to be reformed. So if he's able to handle it, fine with him, without an interest.
The security thing, if they don't sort it out, my dad let them come and take over and sort it out.
I think he's making an impact and it's a welcome development.
I would say Trump is right if you come to Nigeria. The way they are ruling Nigeria, it's not the right way. I remember about 4 weeks ago, I saw all those big people in the north, both governors, they sit down together, they want to negotiate with terrorists. Those terrorists, the people are looking for.
That was a big problem. I mean, that is a big problem, negotiating with terrorists. Well, the split among Nigerians in a diaspora community mirror the broader national debate, proving that even geographical distance hasn't created consensus on this sensitive issue. This division could further complicate Nigeria's diplomatic efforts to present a united front against Trump's threats. In the media,
it now gets a little bit complicated. So now when we look at America, I like to use historical antecedents. Whether it's Republican, whether it's Democrat, the honest truth is that neither is better than the other when it comes to issues concerning warmongering.
Of course, we need help. There's religious persecution. I mean, even the Republican senator, the sort of statistics that he reeled out while he was talking about the Christian genocide is quite alarming.
I was saying that whether it's a Democrat government or whether it's a Republican government, it was a Democrat government under Barack Obama that caused the instability in Libya, that then caused the outburst of terrorists who moved south into the Sahel and caused the problem we have now in northern Nigeria. That's problem number one. Problem number two is, I mentioned it yesterday, we go back to the 19th century. Usman Dan Fodio invaded northern Nigeria. And what was his agenda? It was a jihad. It was because he was pursuing pure Islamization. He believed in the purity of the religion. Now you have that colonial era of Nigeria that took place. That's the first colonization of Nigeria. Of course, the second colonization came and it was a Christian colonization. How have we managed these diverse relationships that were created from a historical context? Now, in terms of America, leave us alone and so forth,
right.
again, like I said, when people feel that their government is not doing what they need to, you can't blame them for turning to wherever they think they can get the assistance. But the point that I want to drive home is that you also have to look at the antecedent of the person you're looking to be your helper, whether it be a Republican government or Democrat government. We've got Libya, we've got Sudan, we've got Somalia, we've got Vietnam, the list is endless, Iraq, Afghanistan, the list is endless. So is American intervention the solution? Do they have the capacity and the track record? Have they proven in the past that they create more order than disorder?
Well, those are questions that are left to be answered at this moment. I mean,
that has to be very clearly established that the insecurity in the country is caused mainly by the activities of non-state actors that the government is opposed to and that the government has tried to find a way to combat in the past 15 years. These are the facts. I wish that the government sticks to the facts so that the Americans can see us as serious-minded, sincere, so we can work together to tackle this problem. I have seen how government officials in the past couple of days and weeks have labored to explain the fact, to explain that targets, violence in Nigeria is not targeted against any particular group. It's just random. It kills everybody and all that. Let me put things in context. There are various groups attacking people in Nigeria and killing people, causing violence. Some of them are simply criminal terrorists, economic terrorists, who are killing everybody, kidnapping everybody to gain economic advantage. Those in Zamfara, Sokoto, and the rest who are trying to cordon off where we have gold and other minerals, creating insecurity to be able to have access to these things. They belong to this category. They don't have respect for anybody. They kill anybody along the line. But there are also groups that are targeting Christians. We must admit that. If we don't admit that, it will show insensitivity to Christians. It also shows lack of seriousness to tackle the problem. I mean, the attacks against people in Benue, in Plateau, Southern Kaduna, a whole lot of them are targeted against Christians. They kidnap priests, they kill them, they attack churches, burn them down, kill people. They choose religious holidays, Easter, Christmas, and attack. And, there is no way anybody can try to explain that away. The story is told, for instance, of the Abubakar, Abdullah Abubakar, I think is his name, in Plateau, the imam who shielded Christians in 2022, that the late President Buhari gave a national award. These were Christians that were attacked. Before the man shielded Christians, they had killed over 100. And the man was able to shield them, gave them protection, which was why he was praised. But if we are to reverse the trend, if the man were not an imam, if he were a pastor, he would have been killed. He would have just been among the casualties. And there are so many, many other instances of that Christians are targeted. Sometimes even when they kidnap people randomly and take them to the bush, they try to get them to convert to Islam. Some of them who are Muslims, they are given fair treatment. Some of them are even released. Those ones that refuse to convert, they are either killed. I mean, Shaibu and all the other ones are Leah Shaibu, and we know the story is in the public domain. So we must admit the fact that Christians are targeted by some groups. Okay. There are also some groups who also kill people indiscriminately across the country. Like when we move to the southeast, for instance, the threat against the ordinary man in the southeast is not the same as the threat against a policeman in the southeast. There is particular target against security officials in the southeast. It is true that they are killing everybody, but it's also true that they are also targeting security men and women in the southeast. If we don't admit that, we will also not be able to address the problem in the southeast correctly. Is this honesty and candor I wish the government adopts so that we can find a solution to this problem and then address it. Okay. Then from the American end, if it is to protect lives of Nigerians, including those of Christians, is the real desire. Military attack against maybe some targets, maybe in Sambisa forest, someplace in Borno and Yobe, will not be the solution. That would maybe degrade them to some extent. But we know the nature of terrorism. You have to be patient to be able to combat terrorism. You have to work with those who know the terrain. The Americans alone cannot do so. They plan to come and just attack some places where you have terrorists and all that will also not be the solution to the problem. So a synergy between Nigerian government and other foreign agencies that countries that want to assist, including the US, will be the way to go. Denial on the part of Nigeria is not the right approach. Okay. Random attack on the part of the US against some terrorist camps and just ending it there will also not be the solution. So there has to be a way for the two sides to work together So solution can be found to this problem.
Thanks, Prof. I mean, you said it all. It's just so shocking that those that started pushing the government propaganda are the same people that advocated for Leah Sharibu. And we know that Leah Sharibu, her only offense when she was taken away and kidnapped was that she was asked to change her religion, and she denied that plea from those people, or she denied that pressure. And she said she was going to stand with her religion. And that's only her offense. So is it shocking that those that advocated for Leah Sharibu then, all of a sudden now have what we call selective amnesia, and are the ones pushing the position of the government today as regards this issue? May God forgive us all. And may God let us realize that this is our earthly race. Heaven is priority. The next question I would like to ask you is, we sort of like are in a catch-22 situation. The Americans have, explored 3 different angles they want to come in from. The limited approach, which I say, okay, probably will be the way forward. A coordinated attempt, to have the Americans work with the Nigerians, and that the other 2 approach, the medium and the heavy, will not work. Putting an aircraft carrier in the Gulf of Guinea and try to send fighter jets in here and try to send, missiles in here, it's not going to work. Even, the mild approach with drones hovering around, it's not going to work, because even if you clear out hideouts, you still have to do a reconnaissance job. If you bomb somewhere, it's not that everybody there is going to die. There'll still be some bandits that are running around to regroup, so you need to flush them, and you need to do the intelligence work. But also in doing that, let's talk about the complicity. We've had many past leaders in the past that have said there's a complicity in the security architecture of this country. That there's been compromise. And there have been people that lean and have sympathy towards these criminal elements. How can we solve that problem?
To my mind, that is the biggest of all the problems. By far, the most important issue to resolve. You recall that in 2014, in the aftermath of the kidnapping of the Chibok girls, there were actually efforts from the United States to try to assist Nigeria to rescue them. But when the plans were put in place, the Americans discovered that Boko Haram had what they were planning to do. They said there were reports that they were wearing gas masks and all that, and that would have made the operation ineffective. When you have an enemy within, it becomes a huge, huge problem. Well, I do not know how the government hopes to do that, because we have gallant military men who are committed. Sadly, some of them have died because of the complicity of some of their colleagues who, gave information to Boko Haram and some other groups. There were times that you had successive ambushing of the Nigerian military, which was clearly, arising from the information given by, some of their colleagues to Boko Haram. It is one of the biggest problems, apart from the inadequate weapons and the rest of them. It's one of the biggest problems, because when you have an enemy within, then the capacity to, achieve your objective becomes greatly limited. What I think government should do is, within the military rank, there should be a way, to identify these people. Maybe not all of them. And the ones they identify, they should treat them as their action as prisoners and send them to military tribunal and probably execute them, if possible, to serve as a deterrent to those who have in mind doing such a thing moving forward. As we speak, just a couple of weeks ago, we had some military guys arrested for selling arms, supplying arms to terrorists. I mean, such people should not be treated with kid gloves. They should face military tribunal, and possibly they should treat them like coup plotters. Execute them. Let us see some action on the part of the government within the military itself. Then, when people see that, that will act as a deterrent. And then we'll have less and less of that. Then we'll begin to have some success. Added to this is...
Professor Wura, we have some little ish at your end there. We'll fix it. We'll come back to you in a bit. We'll just fix it and come back to you.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. These are the things we are saying about, the kind of country we are living in. It's really, really so sad that in this country, this kind of things will be happening and people are just silent, people are mute, people don't even, people are coming out Have you wondered why some people now? Tinubu was meeting. Tinubu met with the Bishop of Abuja, the Catholic bishop. Tinubu met with Sultan of Sokoto, and guess what? Nigerians have been lamenting, saying, "What is Tinubu meeting all these people for? What is he? Instead of him to go after the terrorists, Tinubu is busy meeting with all these people." He's short there. Anyway, let me read what Ted Cruz says. He says, in China, Christians are fighting daily for their religious freedom against the Chinese Communist Party. I'm glad to see the Senate unanimously pass my resolution condemning abduction of Pastor Ezra Yin. You see, this persecution is everywhere. I mean, everywhere. It's really, really so sad that Christianity is... People just want to trample on it. Oh, thank God for America. If there was no America, I believe that... I don't know what will become of Christians, honestly. We face challenges head-on and remain steadfast. I'm reading from Tinubu's tweet. Tinubu tweeted and said, we face challenges head-on and remain steadfast in our commitment to engage partners and champion Nigeria's interests on the diplomatic front. We are confidently asserting our presence in the global stage, guided by unwavering claim, clarity, and strong sense of purpose. We are indeed faced with terrorism, a challenge Nigeria has faced for almost 2 decades, and will not back down. We will decisively defeat terrorism and claim victory in this battle. Security is non-negotiable, and we will never compromise on this principle. With unwavering courage and steadfast commitment to the rule of law, we will prevail. Now, it went ahead to say Nigeria is one united family. We rise together, move forward together, and reject despair in favor of determination. Our future is far more robust and stronger than any fears we may have. The task ahead is immense, yet our resolve is even greater. We will continue to sustain and build on our reform gains and deliver a prosperous and inclusive Nigeria. We will spare no effort and leave no stone unturned to our mission to eliminate criminals from our society. We urge our allies to stand firmly with us as we amplify our fight against terrorism. We have made significant progress in these past 2 years, and we will decisively eliminate this threat. With courage and rule of law, we will triumph. Nigeria will be and remain a reliable partner and dependable ally to its friends and steady voice for stability. We also welcome the collaboration and support of our allies, friends, and partners as we strengthen both security and economic growth. To the brave men, women of our armed forces and intelligence community, united by purpose regardless of tribe or religion, we serve fearlessly, fight side by side, and sometimes pay the ultimate price. We express our deepest gratitude. Your commitment is our strength in the fight against terror. Bola Tinubu, President-Chief in Command, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Nigeria. So someone was just suggesting that he wishes the Nigerian government gives Sambisa forest to the U.S. government as a military base. That if the U.S. Army comes to base in Sambisa forest, that means all these terrorists will be gone. Because with the level of their satellite and the equipment, their determination to end terrorism, I tell you, all these guys will be gone. Now, have you even wondered why so many northerners suddenly came out to start claiming that Nigeria is a sovereign nation, Nigeria is a sovereign nation, that Trump shouldn't dare come into Nigeria, Nigeria is a sovereign nation? Have you wondered why many northerners were very silent, even as we watch people in Middle Belt being bite on almost a daily basis? And immediately they heard Trump was coming, they now started claiming that Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. These are people that have been so silent all this while that this spying has been taking place. Now, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at what this journalist has come out to say. This video, before we get into Ojotbe, I believe you need to watch this video to the end for yourself to hear what this journalist revealed in this video, just for you to know that, see, if you are waiting for the Islamization of Nigeria to happen, I tell you, it has already happened. Just take a look.